afternoon. My name is Marion Bean. I'm a member of the Charlotte Friends Meeting. And on behalf of Charlotte Friends Meeting and Howard and Bridget and his family, I want to welcome you to this memorial meeting. We as family, friends, and friends have gathered today in this great meeting room. There's double the number we thought would be here, so this is great. It's a tribute to you, I think, Virginia and Howard, that this many friends and family wanted to join today. So we are here at Southminster, where Virginia and Howard lived for the last few years, to celebrate the life and presence of Howard. We are joined by several friends and family members, virtually by YouTube, and so you're able to see us and hear us while we can't see them. We want to welcome you also and know that you are with us in spirit. This memorial meeting is after the manner of friends. It's a time for silent reflection in our hearts and our minds, of which we will receive spoken messages. It may be a memory you have, a story, a poem, a song. So anyone is welcome to share during this time. It will deepen our sense of knowing who Howard was in his life among us. We will speak out of the silence and then return to the silence after each message so that we can reflect on that message and hear it more deeply. So if you feel like you are led to speak, you can raise your hand or stand, and a microphone will be brought to you so that all can hear the message that you have to give. We also have a few messages that have been sent to us in advance from some of the friends who are joining us from a distance. And so they will be read during our time together. So let us settle into the silence again and wait to see how we are led to share a message about Howard's life and your sense of his presence in your life. Thank you.
moved to our section in Southminster called Top Beast. And most of us all moved together at the same time, such close friends. And I will miss Howard's big smile and his twinkling eyes. He was, I feel blessed to have known him.
My name is Varsha Shah, and I knew Virginia and Dr. Howard since 2 years. We are neighbors. And Dr. Howard, whenever I call him, hello, Dr. Howard, he had a very special smile for me. Very, very special smile for me, because he liked to hear the doctor word from my mouth. Another thing that whenever we met on Sunday meeting, I always used to take, in the beginning, I used to take some Indian sweets or something Indian to taste. And people would take it, but sometimes it happens that nobody will take it, and he was the one who said he wants to taste it. We remember, and we remember, and we remember Howard very much. Me and Mr. Shah both comes out of our door, and we had a welcoming smile. And he could not talk a lot, but he could smile very nice. And that my smile showed a lot of respect for us. Even though we are from different nationality, we lived here 51 years, and he had that respect in his eyes. And we admire Dr. Howard.
I'm not going to stand up because I'm afraid I'll fall down. I think we all know how kind and wonderful Howard was, how talented he was in all the woodworking that he did. But what I admired most about Howard was the fact that he was family and how much he enjoyed his grandsons and his children. He was so proud of all of you, and that's what I admire most about him.
Friends, if you could give your name also, so how you know Howard.
Cat Nesbitt.
I'm Nick Beard. I practice pediatrics at the Niles Clinic where Howard was, and was very proud to know him. There are several other physicians here that were at the Niles Clinic as well.
Hi, Karen Hinshaw, one of Howard and Virginia's daughters. I've been thinking a lot about knowing Dad. And of course I knew him from birth, but there was always something else to talk about. And busyness and things going on. And so, while I don't think I'll ever forgive Parkinson's for what it took from us, I'm grateful for the forced slowdown that happened as a result of it. And I remember one time, a middle of the workday, I was needed and went over to the house and took lunch with Dad. And he said, I'm sure you have more important places to be right now. And in my head, I'm thinking about all the fires burning back at work. But of course I said, no, Dad, I don't. This right now, right here, is the most important thing and the most important place and the most important thing I can be doing. And so I'm grateful for that slow down time, and I'm grateful for the conversations that we had, and I'm grateful for just being there with him, and that man of few words turned into a man of a lot of words sometimes when he was in another world and I may not have understood where he was and what he was talking about, but he enjoyed it. And so I'm grateful for that, not for all the delusions or whatever they were, but for the happy ones and for that blessing of really getting to know that over the last several years. And so I'm both sad that he's gone, obviously, but grateful for that slowdown and for what it's meant, for me and for the family. And I just think of, I just remember him and saying, I remember the twinkle in his eye and the smile. And we saw that a lot, all the way up to the end. And I think about that and I know I will miss very much that twinkle.
Hi, I'm Ray Fernandez. I too was a physician at the Knoll Clinic with Howard. We all knew Howard just as you guys did, the friendliest guy in the world. Do anything, go out of his way, make himself miserable, make sure you were happy and comfortable. Great physician, he's an endocrinologist, he's the one guy who, as a referring physician, you would want to send your patients because you knew they were going to love you, come back and thank you for sending them to see him. And then too, he get the diagnosis right, he can treat them and do what needed to be done medically. He was brought here by one of the senior physicians at the clinic, Luther Kelly, whose dad, Luther Kelly Sr., was also a physician there. Both very tough, judgmental people. So to have passed their inspection and be recruited as another physician at the clinic was something really special. You had to run through the gamut for that. And I would, of course, didn't have any trouble about beating that. We loved his smile. We loved his calming demeanor. Whenever there was something exciting or trouble brewing or something like that on the horizon, we had to respond as a group. Howard would always be there with his little grin, nodding his head, and you just knew things were going to work out just fine. Howard would get comfortable with it, and everybody would get comfortable with it. I got to tell one story that, I don't know, in front of the grandkids and everything. You need to close your ears on this. You may not remember Grandpa this way. Well, Howard was the quietest guy I ever knew. He could raise some hell. And nobody enjoyed a party as much as Howard did. There was a fellow that I knew very well, another physician, named Paul O'Bar, who had a New Year's Eve party every year. But you already know the story. I'm sure she didn't hide this from dressing down. Paul O'Bar had a mandatory New Year's Eve party that you had to go to. And you had to have a couple of drinks at least. Because if not, Paul would get very angry at you, and he would personally see that you enjoyed yourself with another glass or something. Well, at any rate, by the time we got to midnight, and everybody was supposed to be celebrating and kissing the lady they brought there and so forth, somebody asked, "Where's Howard?" And we went looking all around Paul's house, never could find Howard, looking and looking. Well, it was a cold New Year's Eve, and everyone had coats on. And when they came in, they were shut, you go put your coat on the bed in the bedroom. And when you leave, make sure you take the same coat that you came with. Well, we went to look at the coats. Something started moving. There was Howard on the bed, taking a nap. I won't say trying to sober up, but and he had about 20 coats. I was not. That's one of my favorite memories of Howard. And he shared. I'm sorry for the friends.
Hi, John, son-in-law. You all know how talented Howard was. Probably not so quick story. I'm not as talented as Howard. And, Evan, how long has my front door been stuck? 10 years-ish. The latch on my front door was open properly. So about 4 weeks ago, I decided I was going to fix it. And I spent about an hour looking online for the right latch set, couldn't find it. And I looked around my house and I realized I had 13 closet doors with the exact same latch. Eureka, this will work. So I took one of the closet door latches off and replaced it with the front door latch. I stripped a couple of screws in the process, but I was still very proud of myself. The front door eventually worked. And I sat down, this was about 2 hours later, and I realized, I think I put the latch on backwards. The flat part was where the roundy parts were supposed to go, and vice versa. And I did that also with the closet door. So got up, replaced both latches again. And after 3 or 4 hours, I had replaced a latch on my front door. And about 20 years earlier, at Beth's house in New Jersey, she had a room not quite this big off the kitchen that had a very narrow door. And in about the same 4 hours, Howard took the door off, blew out a wall that was a load-bearing wall, propped up the beam, opened the entire space, of course used all of the materials to seal up the old door, and in Beth's house off the kitchen, she had this nice new expansive room in the same 4 hours that it took me to change up the latch. So he's very talented.
I'm not going to stand up. My name is George Sawyer. My wife and I were in a book club with Howard in Virginia for many, many years. And I remember in their wonderful home on Circle Avenue, Howard had a real gift with woodworking. And he made some of the most beautiful furniture you can imagine in their home. I can see him sitting in his easy chair as the book club progressed. Very quiet man. And then I remember him here as he was going downhill. But always, as someone said, a twinkle, and ice cream. And whenever I would see him, I would pat him on the shoulder and say, "Howard, are we going to have ice cream?" And he'd look up and just with this wonderful twinkle in his eye and a smile on his head. He's going to be missed.
I'm Gail Grimm, I live here, and I did not meet Howard and Virginia until recently through mutual friends. I don't know if this is proper, but I want to say something about Virginia because she was such an inspiration To me, watching her taking care of Howard and the love between the two of them is something I will never forget. And that's what's so great about living here, that we see people, we have our neighbors here that inspire us so much.
Everyone, I'm Rick Reinhardt, attended the meeting and knew Howard personally through meeting and professionally through helping him decide how to renovate his house. And I want to continue that vein of his talent and craftsmanship, because it was 1905, the flooring was wall to wall. There weren't any butt joints in the flooring. Took up every piece of flooring and stored it, put radiant heat underneath, and put the flooring back on top of it. And what matched best with the addition was bamboo. And he created kind of a medallion or a transition through this foyer to the addition that we did. And when I built the cabinets, there was walnut and bamboo, and like someone said, the things that he built. And we also ran a trench from the boiler under the house out to his wood shop in the garage, and the floor in the wood shop was heated. I mean, it was wonderful to work with. He pushed me away, I just helped him do it. Thanks.
I'm Ann Van Newkirk. I'm a member of Charlotte Friends Meeting, and I have a message to bring from another friend who has moved to Roanoke and can't be here. So this is a message from Jennifer Murdoch to you, Virginia. She writes, I was saddened to learn of Howard's passing in an email from Charlotte Friends. Please accept my condolences. He was such a kind, talented, and intelligent man, a wonderful example and guiding presence for us in meeting. While he completed many lofty goals, I most remember his warm smile, kind words, and gentle nature. What a treasure. I was impressed, though not surprised, by the devotion you showed Howard, engaging him in state-of-the-art therapies as he negotiated his illness in your care at home. Your attentiveness was only one indication of your love for him. My fond respects to you and your daughters.
Hi, I'm John Sherman. I worked as a physical therapist with Howard for the past couple of years. And like many people mentioned, he always had a smile. And I noticed that smile even when we had to do the work, which a lot of people here who've done physical therapy know it's not always fun, but he always came to it with a smile, not knowing if he was able to do what I was asking him, but was always willing to actually work with me as well. So I always remember that about him as well too, that despite it all, he always had a smile, even as his symptoms got worse. And he wasn't able to do as much. He continued to put in the work as much as possible, and always greeted me with a smile no matter how he was feeling. So I was just happy to be able to witness his strong and joyful spirit.
I'm Thomas Moore. The last few months, Virginia and Howard would come by Lola's and I would play for them. And often they would be the last two people there. And recently, last week, Virginia asked if I would play lullabies for her, so I did. And she asked that I also, if I would sing for Howard today. Morning is broken, so I'd like to sing that for you. Morning has broken like the first morning, like bird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, strong in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, one of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Hi everyone, I'm Todd Stewart, and I've had the great fortune of attending Charlotte Friends meetings with both Howard and Virginia. In Virginia, I just want you to know the utmost respect, admiration, and love that I have for Howard and you. In a lot of ways, I consider you like my spiritual grandparents, not by any particular thing that you told me over the years, but just by the example that you set and the manner in which you live your lives. And I will always remember Howard for his gentle strength, which has been a true inspiration to me and will continue to be.
Hi, I'm Jan Lehman. I know Howard and Virginia from Charlotte Friends meeting and worked very closely with Howard for several years on the Charlotte Friends School. And we spent many nights in their house having meetings, and it was always just so wonderful to be around Howard because he was such a thoughtful human. And he was also such a good sense of humor. We would be having very difficult conversations, figuring out a lot of things, and I just really remember Howard's quiet chuckle a lot. So in addition to that smile, he had a great chuckle. And I just loved working with him. I loved seeing Virginia and Howard's dedication to the school. And it was just wonderful to know him. And I also have a husband who's a very quiet human who doesn't speak a lot, but you know how powerful that gentle spirit is, as many people have said.
My name is Ruth Muller. I'm a member of Charlotte Friends meeting, and I bring a message from Sandy Cone.
I'll say that again. So my name is Ruth Muller. I'm a member of Charlotte Friends meeting, and I bring a message from Sandy Cohen. I am sorry I can't be there with you all today to honor Howard's legacy. Many of you know what a driving force Howard was in the House and Grounds Committee for many years, serving for decades as either clerk, senior advisor, elder, and/or resource and knowledge depository for all things related to building and grounds. He served on the initial committee to help plan for and design the new meeting house. His woodworking expertise is integral to what we see in the meeting house window framing. When the water heater burst, Howard played a major role in arranging for repair of the ceiling and new flooring. One of the last projects he was active in was the selection of the new carpet for the meeting room, where his steady nature and clear thinking was a great asset. House and Grounds was not the only place where Howard served Charlotte Friends. He was also clerk of finance for many years. He and Virginia were also active in many friendly aids and informal gatherings of friends. I have fond memories of sitting in their living room engaged in meaningful conversations discussing many different topics. Together with Virginia, they helped shape, preserve, and maintain our facility and our community with very little fanfare and never calling any attention to their contributions. What most of you probably don't know is the tremendous role Howard played as trustee of the Friends School of Charlotte, where Howard served as treasurer. He served as treasurer of the board, performing the day-to-day management of the school's finances. The school would not have existed without Howard's contributions. All of us who have served on the House and Grounds Committee have stood on Howard's shoulders. And all in our community are richer for the countless gifts he selflessly shared with Charlotte Friends. Thank you, Howard.
My name is Jason Adair. I've been at Howard for 25 years. This is hard. You guys know that Howard likes wine, right? So that's one of my favorite memories, going to his home. Always a generous bottle, great wine. I could never cook for it. So he was very generous with me. But when I think about him, there's a story of a banister in that house. And from that banister, I learned a few things. Patience, detail, and the value of Howard looking at you and going, yeah, that's good. that's like a rave review. I'm not a woodworker in that house. It was a very steep, winding staircase, built a long time ago. We're in there doing demo, and there's this long banister. And he says, we have to take that down. Great, put up a new one. No. We have to put up that one. Why? Well, if we put in a new one, it's going to violate code. So if we put up the same one, it doesn't violate code. And I thought, is this Howard like breaking the law? So we took down the banister, and my job in the lowest level carpenter skill was to sand it down. And it was an intricate banister with curves and coping and detail. And I sanded, and is this enough? No, there's still some in there. And so I spent hours on this banister. And then we put it up, and many of you have been in that house, and it's like, makes that house, that stairwell and that banister. So I think about that. When I'm working on things in my own home, work with my kids, about the importance of detail and patience, and making sure you have a glass of wine at the end. Thank you.
my name is Kathy Metzo. I know Howard and Virginia from Friends Meeting. When I woke up this morning, I was thinking about Howard's smile. And as I sit here listening to all the people from his recent time here at Southminster, from his time as a physician, from people who have worked with him as woodworkers, I hear the same things that stand out to me about Howard as a Quaker. When I first started coming to meeting, I was a little intimidated by Howard because he was quiet. And the first time I heard the term weighty Quaker, I was like, yeah, that's Howard. And there were a couple of people who came in, but Howard, I was like, he's a weighty Quaker. And at the time, I don't think I even knew that he was a birthright Quaker. So, and I never really quite knew why. And as I sit here listening today, and as I've been reflecting on the many, many contributions of Virginia and Howard to our meeting over the last few years, we've spent some time reflecting and holding them in the light in this journey that they've been on. To me, Howard is the epitome, the quintessential model of the Quaker testimony of simplicity. And I know a lot of people think of simplicity as, austerity, less of something, but that's not at all Howard. Howard was about the quality of the work, and it's not in a show-offy way. It is in that quiet, dedicated, steady, resilient way of doing the work and finding joy in doing the work. And if you find joy in the work, you don't need to be applauded for it or held up as an exemplar, but I see this in both Virginia and Howard. The ability to care with such deep affection and such tenderness by doing the things that need to be done, doing the things that other people need to have done, doing the things that people don't even realize are getting done until you're not around to do the work. And people start to see, oh, wow, there's a lot of work that was getting done. And so much love and affection for us.
My name is Charlotte Fletcher. I am a member of the Charlotte Friends meeting. And I'm going to do something a little unusual here. Because Virginia, I love you. And I think you know that. And I would like actually my sisters and brothers in the Charlotte Friends meeting, if you would stand, if you can, with me. I would appreciate that. Virginia, we have held you in the light and held you and Howard in the light. And I'm asking them to stand because I think I can speak for them that we will continue to hold you in love and light and are grateful for you and Howard. Thank you. also want to take a note to say that today is the International Day of Peace. And when I was holding Virginia and her family in the light today, this morning, I saw that on my calendar, and I thought, this is a great day to celebrate Howard, someone who was born in the Peace Church, someone who served the Peace Church. Yeah, I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, it's a good day to celebrate that peaceful man.
This time I am standing to represent a message sent from Martin and Kathy Zimmerman. Hello, Howard. We trust you are out there looking down on us from somewhere amidst the stars and galaxies, and you are ready and willing to receive testimonies of gratitude and affection for our many good times of shared fellowship. My wife Kathy and I recall meeting you in Virginia almost 30 years ago, at which time we moved to Charlotte from the Washington, D.C. area, and quickly became enamored by the diverse, intergenerational, progressive community of Quakers via the Charlotte Friends meeting. We knew instantly this was the place for us. And dear Howard, it became immediately apparent how critically involved, productive, and supportive you were in embracing the present and future needs of our meeting, especially during and after our new Zen-like facility was designed and constructed. Luckily for me, only a short bike ride from our residence in University City. I had the privilege of serving on the building committee in the 1990s during the design and construction phase of the current facility. That was when we rolled up our sleeves to make sure the building budget didn't bankrupt our lofty intentions for a peaceful and inspiring pavilion nestled quietly within its 6-acre wooded allotment. Your subsequent effort on all matters dealing with the house and grounds seemed to flow effortlessly, due in no small manner to your self-effacing talent at getting things done without any fanfare. On numerous occasions, you evoked a strength of character and undiminished generosity which I hold in the highest esteem. For me personally, you have been a model of civility in all that you have done for others and how you managed, in your soft-spoken, humble manner, to treat others with the deference and respect they deserve, often with a twinkle in your eye. Yes, you have taken leave, Howard, but the Charlotte Meeting House and its faithful flock live on. Thank you for the genuine gift of being true to yourself, to your devoted spouse, Virginia, to your extended family, and to your many friends at the Charlotte Friends Meeting. We will miss you. With much love and affection, Martin and Kathy Zimmerman, Chicago, Illinois.
Friends, as our time draws to a close, are there other messages that are sitting, waiting to be heard? If there are, I would invite you to raise your hand and stand to share that with us.
I am Michelle Joy, and I'm now a member of Charlotte Friends Meeting. And I want to thank Howard and Virginia for being part of that journey that got me to the point where I knew that I wanted to be a member. The way that you guys welcomed me, along with many others, but you were very much a part of that group when I needed a home and knew that the meeting was going to be a home for me. But in the past several weeks, I've been reflecting quite a bit on just the history of the meeting and how it got started, where is it going, and just hearing more and more stories about like the solar panels and how long that's been going on. And again, sitting here and listening once more about how much of Howard in so many different ways and yourself are in the building and in the spirit of our meeting. I want to thank you for all the thought and care that went into building it and for the fact that it's going to last. It means so much to me. I also want to thank you. Our meeting does not have a lot of men. We have even less couples. And I want to just tell you that seeing the way that you love each other and care for each other has always just given me this little happiness in my heart that maybe one day, maybe, I will find it. But at least seeing it, I just love it.
Sorry for double dipping, but pretty sure Dad would not be at all surprised. It's interesting that it's International Peace Day. The other thing that I've been noodling is a phrase that I saw, that peace is love's rest. And I've been thinking through that and thinking about Dad, and it's clear he is and was and will always be so loved. And I just think of that peace and that rest. So wherever you are, Dad, I love you.
I don't trust my legs to stand up. But I'm quite overwhelmed. How you're being here today, each of you, from long ago and from now. It's just amazing. And you talked about the Howard that I was fortunate enough to partner with. over the years. He is special, he was special, and I'm just lucky to have been his partner. He set an example always. He came from a family that taught us how to do it. Any of you who may have been Howard's parents would know that. So I thank you deeply for coming. This will help me tide over the months ahead. And I just appreciate the support and the love. So thank you for coming. One of the things we learned as Howard went through the last few weeks was that if you have Parkinson's, even if you want to donate and live on, Parkinson's is such a bad disease, nobody wants skin or pupils or anything like that. But Karen researched and found that we could donate brain tissue for neuro research. So Howard moves on, at least in that form. We also learned there are more green ways to give away the body. And we use the form that's offered now of aquamation. And so they do that, and there are cremains, just as the cremation that you all are familiar with. And that was done, and those remains can be scattered in the same way that other ashes are. And so it's good to learn things and to feel good about that part. And I'm grateful for that knowledge. And I want you to have that knowledge now too. So thank you for everything. And now let's mingle and mix. There's a little bit of food in there. And there will be a slideshow of things, all the things you talked about. So thank you. And I want to thank Thomas Moore for playing. He's well aware of Peace Day. Thomas has been a kind of ambassador for peace here at Southminster. And I'm grateful for that. So life goes on. and you will be my support always. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia, for that message. That is a very fitting way for us to close our time together. It's usually Friends' practice at a close of a meeting for worship. They return to each other and greet each other. So I'd invite you to do that. Shake hands, wave, nod, bow, whatever works for you. To say it's been wonderful for us to be here together. We want to say thank you to a few others who have helped to bring us together today. We want to say thank you to Adam, who has made it possible for us to connect with family and friends elsewhere. We want to thank Sue Ibate, who has been our mic friend and made it possible for us to hear each other. I want to thank Doug Shaw of the Robertson Funeral and Cremation Service. You've heard about some of those services, and thank you for your service here today, flowers, the program and so forth, so we thank you for that. And Jennifer Adair and David Logan have put together the slideshow that we're going to enjoy with pictures that photographs came from family and friends. So in the other room, in addition to the fellowship and the refreshments, there'll be an opportunity to see more in photo of Howard's life. And then to all the Southminster staff, some are here and some are not here, for preparing this room, this great room, for this great gathering, and baking the cookies and preparing the refreshments and so forth. And so we want to thank them as well. And let us all then turn to our friends who are on streaming and all wave to them and give them greetings. So they can know that they have been with us as well. So now we will adjourn out the door and in the next door for the time of fellowship. Again, some of us may find this a time of reunion. We haven't seen each other for maybe many years. Let's take this time to continue to fellowship and enjoyment of being together in this occasion that invited us to be here. Thank you for
Thank you. They didn't break the line this time. Is Conti in that? Is Conti in? Is that? Live stream is Conti in?
Everyone said fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and collard. Yes. And I got to see Jane Harrison. It's a wonderful, wonderful. It's such a wonderful. This, I was in Washington, D.C. and came back and they don't fried chicken. And I get to eat it and enjoy it. No, it's okay. It's got a box like it. It's got glance. That's it. That's the plan. We take all the
Oh, yes. 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 Did you see the picture of Dad with the mustache in there? Oh. That is so They are, I think they're and white shirts and ties. You know, that's awesome. And they right to school and they're taller than me. So you'll see them. Yes. Yep. Another show. They sing them and they offer them and they offer them back down. Friends. Whatever.